I'm wondering how everybody's feeling because it feels like it's been some heavy energies, and I've been going through some pretty big stuff myself. Yes, please say hello and let me know you are here. Hello. Thanks for the love hearts. It has been pretty heavy, and there's lots of stuff that I want to say right now. I've been going through my own stuff. Thank you. And then I know that when I go through my own stuff, I'm like, everybody's going through it actually. And I've been a little bit selfish, and I have been not doing live stream because I've been, hey Perla, lovely to have you here. Yeah, I've just been like processing myself, and it's just been huge, and I'm like, I need to, like, there's so much I want to say, and I just like, where do I start? What we are in the thick of right now is base chakra consciousness. It is huge base chakra stuff at the moment. Base chakra is you're either in a lot of fear, or you're trusting, you're trying to hold on and control, or you completely let go and trust. It's money issues, it's sexuality issues, it's trusting issues. Or did I say that already? Right? It's fucking huge, the base chakra, right? And at its core, you know, like when I teach the chakras and we start from the crown and we come down, it's, you know, like it's about coming into your body, right? Coming into your body, and in your body, like all the way down is, like, for you to come in and down all the way to your base chakra is you being grounded in your body, is you being 100% yourself, not hiding behind masks, not like being out of your body, you know, it's 100% being here, present, conscious of what's going on, you know, like aware of your stuff, you know, owning your stuff, you know. But when we actually hit base chakra, which is what has been going on energetically in the past kind of week, big time, it's like, you know, this fear, and, you know, like it's like anxiety and fear, and it's just like been so strong, right? And it's very much around like what it feels like energetically. What's happened for a lot of people is it's kind of like it's shifted down into the base chakra. Now, if you follow my work, obviously I'm teaching Calling in Your Soulmate training right now. Like, we're going through the 4 months of training. Oh, thanks, Perla. That means heaps. So I'm not feeling that today, but thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, like going and teaching the Calling in Your Soulmate training. Thanks for the love hearts. Love that. And it's in the sacral chakra, right? Now, as you know, when I've taught the chakras and we're in a chakra, it's like we're already working on the next chakra. And the next chakra is the base chakra. So if you've got money stuff going on, if you're in fear, if you are, you know, worrying, you know, not trusting, if you're not feeling yourself, if you're like going, what the fuck's actually going on? You know, if you're angry as well, angry is what I needed to, thank you, Perla, is what, you know, anger I wanted to talk about as well. It's a big one, right? You know, like, know that the collective is really healing out some fucking big base chakra stuff at the moment. It's like coming down into our body. And also the thing about the base chakra that I forgot to say is its life purpose, right? So sometimes we need to clear the shit out, literally, you know, to be able to step into your base chakra, be comfortable in your base chakra. Now, the thing with the base chakra, it's about letting go of control and trusting spirit 100%. So when you are in your base chakra and you feel safe, you feel connected, you feel grounded, you feel, you know, like safe in the unknown, right? Because it's when we drop into the fear and trying to hold on to situations beyond our control, that's when we'll get the anxiety, right? Because we're up in our heart and we can't take a deep breath because we're not breathing right down to our base. Yeah, it's like anxiety is the heart and not trusting. There's also that space of so the anger is something I wanted to talk about, right? So when you are angry about a situation, place, thing, person, okay, what that is at its core is that something has crossed your boundaries, right? So something that you believe in, something that you value, something that you know, is important to you, something has crossed your boundaries, and you are angry because that person is not respecting you, doesn't, you know, support you, doesn't believe in you. And ultimately, underneath all anger is sadness, right? So if you remember that under all anger is sadness, then, you know, whenever you do get angry, you can be like, checking with your boundaries, like, oh, okay, what's important to me? What has been crossed here? What is it, that's important to me that I'm, feeling that I haven't, like someone's crossed my boundary in some way, shape or form, right? And it's like, if someone calls you a name, it could be like, well, okay, and you get angry about that. What's actually happening is you're actually sad that person has said that to you, right? So when you can release the anger and drop into the sadness, it's kind of like, okay, well, actually I feel sad because that person said that to me. And I feel sad because I thought they, could see me, or I thought that they didn't think that about me, or, and it's kind of like then processing, releasing that as a personal attack and actually going, whoa, that's their stuff, not mine, right? So again, it's the anger and the boundaries, like anger can be very constructive when we know how to read it and how to work it, yeah? So when we're in a situation and we feel like we're going to explode and we just like can't hold it in, like there's definite, things I would recommend doing. Like one is getting outside, getting outdoors. In nature, you can push against a door frame, like, in your house, the door frame's like really angry. It's like pushing against that door frame and getting the anger out that way. Obviously, a boxing class is really helpful. Sometimes you can, if you don't get to a boxing class, you can punch your bed or scream in a pillow. Screaming in a pillow I find is really awesome because, as I said, under all anger is sadness. And when you have trouble dropping into sadness or crying or anything like that, usually screaming in a pillow ends up in tears in a pillow. So, finding ways to release anger, because it's important to get it out in healthful and safe ways. But it's also, once you have that conscious understanding that underneath all anger is sadness, and then finding out what's crossing your boundaries so that you can actually, find out. It's kind of like, oh, where's, what's important to you, basically. In its core, it's like, what is anger teaching you? What is important to you and what needs are not being met, right? Gym works for you? Yeah, exactly, yeah? So it's like finding that, release that works for you. So, yay, thanks for sharing that, Robert. And it is that thing of, being able to, get anger out. And, if it is a recurring situation that you feel angry about, or it's the same shit that's always happening, it's definitely something to look at, It's like if it is a recurring situation, it's like, well, what's important to you? Yeah, the rage is released. It's really important for it to come out, right? And then it's kind of like, well, questioning, well, if it's a recurring situation, well, what is this situation? Like, what needs changing, right? Because if something's important to you and your values and your boundaries keep getting crossed, it's kind of like you will get pissed off and you will get upset and you will get, basically you're sad because there's some sort of needs not being met. Now, the kind of message I'm getting too is around self-care. So, the first thing, like I've just shared all those mechanisms to release the anger, but then there's also the thing of checking in with where your self-care levels are at generally, right? Because if you've got low self-care, meaning you don't really take care of yourself, meaning, you don't really look after yourself at its core, your threshold levels are not as high, right, for any situation that happens. So if you are worn out, you're tired, you're stressed, there's other shit going on in your life, your threshold's going to be very little, right? When you've got a strong self-care relationship with yourself, meaning you fully look after yourself, you get enough sleep, you eat healthy food, you do go to the gym, like you look after yourself, okay? Because when you love yourself, you meet needs rather than looking to other people to meet needs and then getting disappointed and angry and upset when those needs aren't being met. So it is finding that balance, that making sure that your self-care is, in a good place. And again, like I said, if it is a reoccurring situation about the anger, it is checking in with self-care. Do changes need to be made? What needs are not being met and what boundaries, like what is important to you is kind of like the real core things going on there, yeah? And, just asking yourself those questions. You might not know the answer right now, but if you start questioning, and asking those questions, you will get the answers eventually, yeah? What else did I want to say? Does anyone have any questions? Oh, yeah. So something else I wanted to share was about the anger, and I think what was I going to say? So it's like there's anger and then there's holding people in their stuff. So, okay, so how I just said earlier on the live stream, like if somebody says something to you and you get upset, It's, you know, it's knowing where your part in it is, right? So yes, you can be sad, and yes, you can have a reaction, and you can be upset, and it's kind of like knowing, you know, what their stuff is and what your stuff is. And, you know, in life, we're always going to get triggered by people, you know, like people, certain things, you know, especially in intimate relationships, right? And I think the big part of the base chakra coming up at the moment is being, you know, comfortable to be yourself and trusting and letting go of any outcomes, because when we have an attachment to outcome, there's more, I guess, pressure on relationships, there's more expectations, and we all know that assumptions and expectations are like the ruiner of fucking everything, right? But when we can be comfortable in our base chakra, be comfortable being who we are, and have that healthy level of self-respect, self-esteem, self-care, you know, like, and know, you know, what's important to you, then it's almost like you will align with situations, like, you know, like you create situations to, I guess, heal certain aspects, but you also, you know, every situation brings more conscious awareness to, you know, stuff that's going on. And emotions are, you know, like your guiding post, I guess, to, you know, when your boundaries are being crossed, you know, like if you do get upset, and it's kind of like, you know, if you are blaming the other person though for you getting upset, that's where you kind of need to, you know, look in. And it's, if, you know, if every single person has these separate, you know, bubbles, right? Everyone's got their own little aura going on. Yeah, we're all connected and all that shit, but everyone's got their own shit going on, right? So they've got these bubbles. Now, when these bubbles kind of come together, we kind of enmesh a little bit. And when we, you know, keep connected, we can keep to our own stuff, right? So we, you know, healthy self-care, and we can kind of go along. When, you know, that kind of drops, or someone might be in their stuff more than another, it's kind of like having, you know, it can clash. And obviously, like, everything is attractive, you know, like there's a, you know, we're attracted to certain people for certain reasons and all that sort of thing. We all mirror each other's stuff, right? We've all got fucking stuff. It's just, you know, like the level of how grounded you are in your base and connected to your heart rather than staying in your head is to the level that you will be able to hold somebody in their stuff whilst they are triggered. And if you are triggered, being able to process that really quickly, right? Now, I've spoken about this before, and it comes, excuse me, I just had some lunch. I just burped. It comes quite naturally, right? But it's like it takes practice to hold space, and it takes practice to be able to let shit go. Okay, I wrote a blog about this last week. I've done several live streams on being able to forgive somebody when you don't want to forgive them. You know, like, and really having that level of awareness. If you want the links to those, please comment, and I'll send you the links to those if you haven't seen them already. So there is this level of awareness within yourself, and it does always come back to that level of, you know, self-care that you have. And like I said, you know, if you've got that support and that level of self-care, then you will find it easier to hold people in their stuff. And again, it depends on if you've worked through that stuff that they're being triggered on, right? Because you will be triggered by people, yet how triggered you actually get and how much you hold on to it is how what's the word, like, I don't know that's how much work you've done on it. It's if you've looked at that issue within yourself, right? So whatever's pissing you off about that person is going on for you in some way, shape or form. And if you can't let it go, well, then there's stuff that you need to look at within you, right? I'm wondering if there's anything else that I'm wanting to say right now, because the energies have been pretty strong since that, apparently it was a super new moon on Saturday. So it's a super new moon, but it was like the third of a series of super new moons, so the third final one. I didn't really feel too much, but then, you know, like these past couple of days, like so much is fucking just like just, it's like it's rocks, it's like waves, yeah. It's fucking huge. And like I said, I've been going through a lot of base chakra stuff, a lot of trust, a lot of control, a lot of letting go, a lot of letting go of the attachments to outcomes. Now, when I was talking before, and that's the other thing, I knew there was something else I was going to say. So about the base chakra and coming in from the top and actually coming down and grounded into your body. When we're coming down and we're looking at the chakras, it's like what feels like energetically has happened for a lot of people in the past few days is like we've come down, and it's like like the cogs of the base chakra have kind of, you know how like when you turning something and that cogs into place, like with cogs, of mechanical cogs or something. You know what I'm saying? It's that sort of feel that's going on, and it's just like, bang, there it is. And because it's kind of come down and got grounded, it's just like almost, there's the waves, yeah? And I'm wondering if that's what's happening energetically, planetary and stuff. I know we're going through big, shifts and all that sort of stuff right now. And then obviously what's going on out here is a reflection out there, and we're being affected and vice versa and all that sort of shit. So it's kind of like this, cog coming down, and it's like everything is aligning. And when we feel that deep connected, space in our base chakra, we do feel comfortable. We do feel comfortable in letting go, because it's like when you reach that place of being comfortable in the unknown, that's trust. It's also mastery of your base chakra. So the crown, the heart, and the base are extremely connected. Yeah. So Robert says, this makes sense with the supermoon. I had no idea. Something felt off for sure. Yeah, it's been fucking huge. From like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday especially, people were just going like, ah! And I was in my own stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking live stream. And I was like, and then after today, like, I've just got some deep clarity, and I was just like, oh my God. And then like people have been messaging me as well, and they're like, it's stuff going on. It's like, and people actually asking me, and I'm like, is this base chakra? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I fucking need to live stream, eh? Like, so many people are going through shit. When I'm in my shit, I don't really feel like live streaming, and sometimes I'm selfish like the past couple of days, and I'm like, actually people fucking need me and need to hear this shit, that they're not alone. And like, it's collective, and we're all fucking going through it. We've got our own personal stuff going on, but at the same time, it's like, everybody's fucking got this shit going on, yeah? It's like same threads, yeah? It's the same threads we're dealing with. It's all base chakra consciousness. So yeah, so it's like the waves that have kind of, cogged into place. And that's what I was saying, like, we're in crown chakra consciousness right now. In 2 weeks, I'll be stepping into the third eye chakra consciousness in Light Field Yoga. So I'll be releasing that on the 14th of July. A bit exciting. Yeah, you Uber drive, and heaps of people were angry and shit. Yeah, so much anger, hey, like so much anger's been flying around. It's ridiculous, like, and just angry, like, being, yeah, it's like stuff, people's boundaries being crossed, and, what's important to them, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? Yeah, exactly. And maybe you've been like Jesus Christ, holding that heart space consciousness perhaps for the people in their shit, yeah? Because that is definitely what Jesus Christ consciousness is about, is what I've been saying on this live stream too, about, holding that heart space. And, when people are in their shit, like, can you hold them in their shit? It's kind of easier to do with somebody who you're not attached to or not in an intimate relationship with, yeah, to be able to hold space for somebody, like just a stranger, or if you're driving in a car sort of thing. Like, you can kind of hold space better than, when in intimate relationship, you tend to get triggered a lot easier. So it is a muscle. And yeah, as I was saying, like the crown chakra, we're coming into the third eye chakra soon. So, we're getting clear on relationships. We're kind of sorting through the shit in relationships, being able to see the truth in relationships, the dynamics and what's going on, and then being able to have compassion for people. So when we're activating the crown chakra, like we've been in the past month, the base chakra is automatically activated as well. You're so welcome, Robert. I'm glad it's helped you. I knew I had to jump on live stream today. I couldn't leave it any longer. The crown chakra and the base chakra are the bottom and the top. So they're both activated at the same time. So even though we're having all these new ideas and pathways and stuff at the same time, the base chakra is just going, like all the shit is being cleared out basically. So, and the heart chakra, obviously, like I've said, in the crown chakra, the heart chakra automatically lights up, because the crown, when we open to spiritual wisdom, when we open to help, we automatically align with our heart, because our heart is automatically wisdom. Our heart is, the most profound wisdom that is love, right? It's being able to hold that space. And, like, if the only thing that is real is love and compassion, if that's the truth in everything, when you can get out of here and stay in here and know that even with the shit that's going on, at the truth of that person, they've got this too, right? And when we can hold that space and connect into that, we can see past all the bullshit and see past all the shit, seeing the truth of the situation, that whatever's going on for that person isn't actually the truth of who they are. That's when the shifts happen, right? When you can hold space for that. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's nice, but it's fucking possible. And, like, when you have that level of awareness and you can hold space for that, you are stepping into mastery. You are stepping into that Jesus Christ consciousness, yeah, because that's all Jesus Christ consciousness is this is like, you know, I know I've spoken about it, you know, Easter a lot. It was really strong this Easter, you know, it's like Jesus Christ dying on the cross. Now, I'm not religious or anything like that, but for me, Jesus Christ consciousness is just love and compassion, right? I think of Jesus Christ as this love and compassion. When he's dying on the cross, when they are crucifying him on the cross, he is saying, please, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. Like, what kind of level of consciousness is that he is like being crucified and he's asking for forgiveness for them before, like, as he's dying, for fuck's sake, you know? Like, when we can have that level of compassion for our fellow human beings, you know, like, that's when the planet shifts. That's when we're making a big impact, even if it doesn't seem like it at the time, right? When we can hold space for that. So know that, you know, if you've been angry or upset, or, you know, there's shit going down, you're like, what is happening? You haven't been alone. You know, it's been big shifts. We are stepping, you know, out of crown chakra into third eye chakra as well. And I will put a link in the comment for the base chakra consciousness ebook that I've got. It's got all the base chakra stuff. If you're really wanting to dig deep about finances or sexuality and, you know, heal masculine and feminine balance inside your body, which is, you know, when we're coming down, there's this inflow and outflow, especially from crown down and back up, you know, that flow around and up and down. So there's all that healing in there. So I'll put a link in the comments for the Base Chakra Consciousness ebook that I've got available for you now. I'm so excited to be able to share it with you. There's processes in there too that can help shift your money story stuff too. So if you've got any questions and you're watching this live stream, please comment below, and I shall see you very soon. Keep it really real. Take deep breaths. Stay in your heart. Namaste.